Better late than never. We're here.
Well, in all honesty, we have some technical issues going
Yeah.
on today. You may notice, and I'll just go ahead and point it out. We've got some weird shadowy things. Like I have a creature around me over here. There's a
It's
blanket of some
enveloped in
sort.
the gray fog.
We've been moving furniture and lights and closing blinds and opening blinds, and you know what? We have not got it, but we promised we'd be on, and part of being authoritative is getting as close to being on time
Being
no
here.
matter what's going on. We
That's
show up.
Sandra Dee
So,
Robinson, by the way. That's the
hello,
amazing
everybody.
charisma coach, Sandra Dee Robinson. I'm the Trigger Rich Bond Trigger. And yes, we are talking about brand authority.
Yeah.
And you might be undermining it by what you do or do not do on camera. And we're not blaming anybody. This is just a reality of it's a new game, and people are not aware of what microphone and camera really is
Yeah.
about and how to use it for their authority.
I think people don't even know a lot of times. You don't know what you don't know, right?
No,
Like how we're dealing with the issues over here. There you go. But you don't know what you don't know. And I think that today we're going to hopefully shed a little bit of light on that, because I see people on a daily basis in Zoom calls and virtual meetings. And honestly, some of these folks that I'm talking to will have virtual meetings that can be worth six figures, maybe even seven figures to their business. It
yeah,
matters. The authority that you are perceived as really matters. And so part of that can harm you, or some really common mistakes, right, Rich? You've got a little list there we're going to go through real
oh
quick.
yeah.
Let's do it.
So, all right. So number one is, and this one I just recently was in a meeting myself, and I heard this, and I wanted to just stop them. They over apologize and they hedge their language coming out of the mouth. Now, you do want to be transparent. This day and age, you want to be transparent, but it's how you phrase the word, the transparency. So things like, sorry if this wasn't clear, or this might be a dumb idea. How many of us have heard this might be a dumb idea? Okay, you are
Right.
undermining your authority right away by
Instantly.
leading from weakness.
Yes. Instantly. And if you're interviewing, I want to kind of tag on to that if I can, Rich. If you have a show, a podcast, you're starting a podcast, I address this a lot with new podcasters, right?
Yeah.
They'll go, "Hey, can I ask you a question?" I'm like, "Please stop. Don't do that.
Right.
It's your show. They're here so that you can ask them questions. That's what it's all about." And it's funny, and we laugh about it. And usually the new host will laugh about it as well. But it's something that we automatically do. It's kind of like, hey, this may be a dumb thing to say. We say it out of maybe just our habit, our personality, to be sweet, to be easygoing. But on camera, it's not the best choice.
By the way, ask questions, drop them in there like Dan just did. Thank you very much, Dan, for being here again. Ask questions. We go through this. I was on a event yesterday after we did a post wrap. One guy says, I don't like when you use the word no. We want to tell people yes. And I said, there's sometimes a no is okay. When you're the authority, when you're the expert, you
Yes.
don't want to sound like you're mamby-pamby. It makes you sound wimpy, I told the guy. He goes, well, we don't want to tell anybody that. I said, they want the authority. So maybe better phrasing is, here's what I know works. Based on my experience, let's
Yes.
explore this idea deeper together. You're
Yes.
leading from your strength as an authority, trying to bring people along, but
Mhm.
you're still not just letting them roll over you and look wimpy.
Oh, exactly. And I also have people that, as you know, they'll shy away from even being interviewed because the biggest fear, we're going to be covering this in our classes coming up too. But what if I am asked a question that I don't know the answer to? Now, first of all, they're already setting up, I'm going to be in trouble if, right? So the idea is we help people kind of like get in the mindset that even if there is a question that the answer is not available to you, there are ways that you can still remain very authoritative and simply say, you know what, I don't have those statistics prepared, or, I have those, I'd love to get back to you on that, because that's something I've been wanting to dig deeper into. And I do think it's a very relevant and very good question. Let's follow up with that if we could. I mean, there's ways that you can do it. That
Yes.
you basically say, I don't know the answer, but you're not saying I don't know the answer, right?
Or, that's a great question.
Yes.
Deeper, come back next week. Let's go deeper with that. So you're thanking them and you're inviting the audience to join you for a follow-up. How
So you're
good is
actually
that?
winning. Yeah, you're actually winning from something that could have actually derailed you at one point if you weren't prepared, if you didn't know what you know now.
So one of the other area, and this is a big one for people, there's wandering eyes. Wandering eyes on camera equals poor communication. You hear Sandra, other people in this expert space is your eye contact is your authority on camera.
So
Talk
much.
through the camera, not at the camera. Don't talk off stage at the other screen. I had a guy do that the other day, and all I
See it
saw
all the
was
time.
the side of his
Yeah.
head.
Yeah.
You want to have eye contact.
And it's really simple. We as humans, we judge somebody, whether they are friend or foe, safe or not, by looking in their eyes. So if you meet somebody in person, just compare this to in-person conversations, and they're looking over your shoulder to see who else is coming in the door, you instantly go, yeah, I don't really want to give a lot of energy to this person. It's really no different because this is our new conversation.
Yeah.
Like it or not, this is where most of our conversations and our relationships in business, at least, and a lot of times in life are going to be taking place. So, this eye contact, I'm looking at the camera right now. You see, there's a difference between, and it's okay when you're doing an interview or you're in a meeting to look down at the person like I'm looking at Rich right now.
Yep.
You can see, look at the
You can
difference.
see the difference. She's
But
looking at a different screen. Yes.
when I answer, Rich, I'm going to answer up here because I'm also addressing you, the audience at home. So talking through that lens, and you said at the lens, can we just touch on what that means? So for speakers in particular, right? Speakers, when you're speaking to somebody one-on-one or you're speaking from a stage, you're getting energy back from those live human beings. You kind of know the temperature of the room, right? When you're talking to a camera, you don't have that. So I have actually had speakers, and I'm sure you have too, Rich, that say, I just don't know what to do with that. They're talking at the lens as if it's a thing. Talk through the lens as if it's a person, because it is.
Emotionally, mentally, physically, tell yourself you're in the room, you're with them. I always tell people before rock the stage show, backstage, we're having an intimate conversation. We're having our favorite drink. We're on the back porch. I set a picture in their mind that we're relaxing, having a good casual conversation. Yeah. Everyone says, thank you for setting the image. I can be on the back porch with you. That's a cool concept. I'm not in a room or my bedroom, my stale, boring office. I'm in a back porch having a conversation. What do you need to do to talk through the lens? Now, we did have a question. I want to bring it back up here for a second.
Yeah.
And thanks. Drop these questions in here. But we're talking about, not immediately knowing the answer. I never stumble. That's confidence. That's authority.
Yeah.
Because they've worked through this problem. They've worked through that situation by reflecting on the question.
What might be driving the question?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that comes back to, I think, when I said that's a very important question because. Mm-hmm. And then you can actually highlight the purpose for the question, which is great, Rob. Thank you for sharing that. That is absolutely true.
That's absolutely fantastic. Now, one way to help your eye contact is, and I use this early on, I put sticky notes all over my big monitor. So I'm looking at my camera. My camera is on my giant screen monitor. My laptop is off the side where I engineer things, but I put sticky notes. And so I had talking points, I had questions, I had informative information. Now, here's the trick. If you use sticky notes, number them. Oh. Because in my early days, I did not. And I did not remember which sticky note I had already used or not used. So, pro tip, sticky notes will help you stay on camera. Keep it right here. No one knows you're using sticky notes. Just don't cover up the camera lens. You do have the number on them. Let them know you've already done that one.
Because you can get into the flow and then all of a sudden you go, wait, that was important. Did I already say it? I'm not sure. So the whole thing of staying on point, I mean, it is very important and it does maintain your authority when you know where you're going. And that's another thing I think that's important for people that instead of getting into, let's just say an interview situation where you're being interviewed, know where you're going. Not just the host has to know where they're going, but know where you would like to go. As a guest, you actually have a lot more control than what you may perceive when you first start being interviewed. So as Rob shared, if I don't know the answer to a question, then here's how I handle it. These are the things that I think are really, really important when you start to get into that situation where you're going on podcasts and you're being interviewed. just know you have a lot more control over where it's going. Choose the bullet points that you most want to
Mhm.
have come across, and then make sure that if there's one or two that you can let go of, the ones that are lesser priority,
Right.
be able to let go of them. Be able to let go of them and not worry about it. The second that you get into your mind of worry and think, oh, I have to get this in, I have to get this in, it's going to show up in how you are. It's going to show up in your voice, right, Rich? It's going to show up in your body.
On
You're
your
going to
body
hold that
language? Yes.
tension. Get rid of all of that tension. If there's things you can let go of, just in your mind, go, all right, I'm not going to get to that. That's fine. And just stay relaxed. Stay relaxed in your voice. If you start to feel a little tension, literally just take a deep breath. Take a sip of water. I always say have water nearby so that you can take a sip of water, but take a sip of water, take a second for yourself, and just recenter so that anything that has come into your head that is worrisome or is causing tension can be deflected.
Al's got a comment coming in the chat. Thank you. We love the comments. We love the questions. Please keep them rolling on in. Talk about the undermining authority. There is a habit I see becoming pervasive. The expert making a point and ending the sentence with the word right.
Oh, wow.
That's a great one, Al. That's a great one.
Oh, that's so good. You're literally putting a question mark at the end of it. Yes, that is so good. And sometimes, once again, we say that to get that camaraderie, that rapport with the person that we're sitting with. But on camera, it's a question mark at the end of your statement. So, yeah. Another thing that undermines authority, and I work with this a lot with people, is since we brought it up, the question mark intonation at the end of a sentence.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I will just go ahead and throw them under the bus. The Kardashians, thank you very much, made this a thing. Did they not? So whenever you want to talk like a Kardashian, you lift all of your sentences up at the end. And look, I can tell Rich is starting to get like he's twitching over there. It instantly drops your authority. I was working with a luxury real estate agent and I was watching one of her videos and I said, I noticed that you're doing this. And she goes, oh, yeah. She goes, that particular video, I wasn't really sure about what I was saying. And I went, there you go. That's literally what it sounds like. And that's what she was doing. So by simply ending your sentences in a downward tone, then you're going to come across as being much more authoritative. Be careful of that upswing.
Yep.
I know it's a really easy thing to get into. It sounds youthful. It sounds fun, but it's not authoritative at all.
You want to land the plane as the authority. You do. You want to nail the dismount as a gymnast. That's what you want to make it feel like.
Yeah.
Here's another comment coming on, and Al is up talking.
That's it.
Word.
That's what up talking
That's a new
is.
phrase, new thing. Mark it down, Al. That is great to bring that in.
Yeah.
Here's another one for you, as I'm going to bring up, because there's so much in this area of undermining your authority on camera and mic, but it is a rambling with unclear structure. Sandra just mentioned that.
Yeah.
Winging it is not a good thing. Having Post-it notes, having little cue cards does help. Whatever it is, make sure you stay on topic. I just did a whole thing about staying on topic.
Yep.
Sandra and I did a whole thing on that. And you want to make sure that's going to be coming up on our next masterclass.
Our next masterclass at the end of this month. That's going to be our
top rabbit trail. And you don't know where you are and you don't know how to land the plane. So stop winging it. Do it. And finally, your body language, your low energy. Lean in a little bit. Sandra talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Lean in slightly so you are like, oh, this is good. This is great. I love. Do not be a slouch back in your chair and say, hey, I'm an authority. No one will believe in you as the authority.
Not on camera. No, if you're playing The Godfather, that's a different thing. That's a scene in a movie. It's a very different thing. Yeah, it is true. And that body language, it's interesting because on stage, you can go a lot bigger than you can when you're on camera, even in an interview with 3-4 cameras that are on you. It is every little movement that you make on camera can be twice as impactful. So as I'm leaning forward right here, I'm only leaning 2 inches, but it looks like so much more. Now, if I was on stage and I wanted to make that kind of intimate connection with an audience on a story, I'd be walking maybe even 3-4 feet to the front of the stage to have that kind of give that private feel of a conversation with the audience. Here, I can do that by just leaning in a few inches. So it takes a little time and a little practice. Hey, coaches help a lot with that.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Well, again, our master class is coming up. We're going to tell you about that in a moment. Bring the cue card back up. But also, your presence, your height on camera matters.
Oh,
Sandra and I were
yes,
playing with this
we were
beforehand.
playing
Sandra and
with
I were
with
playing
the
around
issues
beforehand.
today. Shall I demonstrate?
Yeah, please demonstrate what we see a lot. We see this a lot.
Okay. Let me see if I
Top
can get it.
CEOs, top executives, they are way down tinier than I am. Just physically, look at that. Physically, without me saying a word, I look like the authority, and she looks like a child. That's not what you want. You have to be present, full, fill in the camera frame, but
Take
go
up
over
space.
dominant. But yes, you do want to be here.
Yeah. I just put a video out this past week about taking up space. And that's literally what it was. I was referring to just Zoom calls, but that is something that we see all the time. And you're so easily overlooked, especially if you're in a Zoom call with a bunch of other people. That is an on-camera opportunity. That's part of what we're talking about here. So be able to understand how you're framed and make the easy arrangement, the easy switch. All I did was I'm using a laptop with a camera on top of it. All I did was slide my laptop angle a little bit and I fixed what would be the issue.
And it really levels you up as that CEO, as executive, as that authority. Now,
Mhm.
I want to give you a bad one. Here's a true life. This is Mark Zuckerberg. We all know
Oh,
Mark
goody.
Zuckerberg from Facebook. This is from his early days, 2016, 2018, when he was first interviewing, live streaming, all this stuff.
He's gotten better.
Much better because he had a coach, honestly. Stiff, robotic. He was boring. He was awkward. His pauses were like the bad Japanese movie with the gaps and the timing, and it just didn't fit
Oh,
the
let's see.
messaging.
Let's see.
His lack of facial expression. He was like, "Hi, I'm Mark Zuckerberg, and I'm going to tell you about the world's greatest thing called Facebook." And he
And
was very, very stiff.
this is a smart, obviously smart guy, right? Accomplished, already successful by most people's standards in that time.
Right. It's zero engagement through the camera. So he wasn't calling out people's names on the message boards. They were going on Facebook Live with him and things like that. No storytelling. He was stuck on stats. He was so
Mhm.
stat driven that he missed all the stories. Now, with coaching and other things, he's loosened up. He's conversational. He's body language. He's connecting. He's building trust. He's leading with personal stories more and more. The major transformation of Mark Zuckerberg. We know him now, but you got
Yeah.
to go back to the beginning and say who he was then could have killed Facebook and the entire brand.
Oh, so much, especially since Facebook is all about relationships.
Right. And he's the authority in that space. Can you imagine trying to be the authority in that space and being the old Mark?
I can. I've seen it. Not with Mark. I've seen it with a few other people, but yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. 100%.
So Zana and I are leading this master class. Ready, set, smile. You see us smile all the time. You see us having a good time. This is one of the subtopics that we get into, but we are going to be talking about what next time we meet on June 25th, Sandra.
We're going to be talking about we have a topic at the beginning of every class, but we cover all the topics that you want to bring that you may be dealing with. So when I say we have a topic, it is just what we start with. It's this type of thing where we're just kind of addressing, hey, here's some issues, and you can take these notes and you can apply them immediately. Our topic is staying on topic, because it's one of those things that people will actually avoid interviews because they're afraid they're going to go off topic, or they'll avoid making video for their business, which honestly, you can't do that anymore. It's
No,
not possible to stay off of camera. A lot of the people that I work with and that Rich works with, I know for me, I can say specifically, I work with people that have really concentrated for years, maybe even decades, to learn the thing that they learn. So they could be, for instance, a surgeon, a dentist, a lawyer, and now they're being called to make videos or speak at a conference because of something that they have created.
yes,
This is not something that these people went to school for.
no,
They didn't wake up with a selfie stick in their hand. They never imagined that it would take time out of their learning schedule to figure out how to present on camera. So a lot of the people that we talk to are already authoritative in real life, but they just don't feel like they have the skills because they never learned them to be able to get up on camera and look like the professional and the savvy brainiac that they actually are. And so like Mark Zuckerberg, right? He
yeah.
obviously had someone speak to him in order to make that shift. So that's what we're doing for you. And that's what we're doing in the master class.
I work
So
with a lot of public
that's what we're
speakers,
excited
and
about. Mhm.
A lot of public speakers have a hard transition from the stage. They love the crowd, the interaction, the body
The
language,
energy.
the noise in the background. They
Yep.
love that. The
Yep.
transition of public speaking to being here has been a very hard one
Yeah.
because this is a different space for lending your authority. And you have to learn how to do this. You have to learn how to showcase yourself, not
Mhm.
be offensive, but be authoritative, be confident. And you got to love it and embrace it. You got to have fun with it now.
Yeah. You got to go with the flow, even when you have technical issues.
Exactly. So hit the QR code, come and join
It's
us.
going to happen. It's going to happen. Just like if you're speaking live, things are going to happen. Stuff is going to fall. Lights are going to go down. Your slides aren't going to work. I mean, that's part of actually that confidence, right? Confidence comes from
Yes.
taking action steps. Confidence doesn't come from reading a book about confidence. I wish it did. I really wish it did. It does not.
June 25th, 1 p.m. It's a live class interactive on Zoom. We will have a hot seat, but we are going to take questions from you. We want to really help you. We have a passion, a goal to reach as many people
Yes.
to help them gain confidence, build a brand, build their authority, because this is where the business world is now. From real estate to lawyers to everybody, you're all here now, and this is a new place to come learn.
We'd love to see the people that are in our class feel so confident that they want to start their own show. That
Yeah.
would be fantastic. Not that you have to, that doesn't have to be your goal. But if you feel like that might be, this is the perfect place for you to come.
So, undermining your authority. We all do it by accident. We don't want to do it. We kick ourselves in the backside afterwards.
Yes.
Our spouse or colleagues will come and say, that was a swing and a miss.
Why'd you? Did you know you did? Right. Yeah.
So come and join us. That's Sandra Dee Robinson, the charisma coach, Sandra Dee Robinson. She has a lot of great stuff going on. Contact her. She's on LinkedIn, on Facebook. You want to connect, make sure we will help you. We will work with you. And I'm the Trigger, Rich Bontrager from Rock the Stage. Come and join us, and we'll see you on June 25th.
Yep.
That's 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Mark it, and we look forward to helping you shine on camera, shine on stage, and elevate your brand, right?
You got it. We'll see you then.
See you then.